Good evening, Mr. President.
Yes, good evening.
Sir, I'm Janeline Kabiling from Manila Bulletin. Sir, can you share us details of your bilateral meeting with the leaders of Vietnam and Papua New Guinea?
Well, we were talking of trade relations. It's a huge land, Papua New Guinea, and they need to work up on their lands. So they're importing rice, but it's a big country, and I think the soil is compatible with rice, and they are asking our expertise. We have been a rice producing country for so long, and we have the IRRI who can help them, and I'm sending. I promised to send a team from the Department of Agriculture to help them out. We were also talking about the import of tuna, which is plentiful in that area. But it appears that because of many countries dipping their fingers there in fishing, including Australia, they have reached a point of just allocating everybody a share. But I asked the Prime Minister if we could consider maintaining the status quo and the number of tons that we are importing in the Philippines, which is mainly dropped at General Santos City, I think.
Sir, on Vietnam, did you talk about the detained Vietnamese fishermen for alleged poaching? Did you talk about the deaths?
Yes,
of some
I
nationals?
expressed my regrets and assured him that the machinery of justice is working. Alam mo kasi, it is very important that they say the courts moving to render justice. And I said we are at that point already, and we will talk about maybe the compensation later. But I have ordered the other companions of that group which intruded into our economic zone that they should, I told the Aguirre to just dismiss the case and deport them. Manamatayan na nga yun. Alam mo, there's one point that I'd like to point out. Were it not for the fact that this has to be proven in the investigation, that our ships, the Coast Guard, were being rammed, binubunggo talaga, then placing the personnel there, the Coast Guard people in danger. Kung wala lang yun, and I repeat, this is for everybody's guidance, you have to capture. If you cannot capture the poachers, you may pursue them, but you have the limits of the international waters. Then the boundaries would come into effect. Sa ating batas, according to the laws of the Philippines, you cannot kill a person because of stealing. If it is an act of robbery and there's the danger of the victim being killed, then that is the time that you can use force. But if the thief would run away and his back is turned against you, we do not have any right at all to kill a human being. Because according to our court, Supreme Court said that human life is more valuable than the thing that's being carried away. Therefore, it is not allowed. Yan ang gusto kong warning iba. But then, there is this attack by the vessel itself running against the other Coast Guard ship. But that has to be, it's part of the investigation. But the process is being started already. Walang problema dyan. And I think administratively there has been a verdict finding them, I hope I'm correct, that they were really at fault in shooting. Pero sabi naman kasi in defense of their ship which was being rammed, maybe to cause destruction. And that was what was being prevented.
Joseph Morong, GMA News.
Hi, sir. Good evening po. Joseph sa GMA. Sir, on China, are you having a change of heart with China? Because before you left for Vietnam, you said that, maybe it's time to talk to President Xi.
Yes. In the matter of the conduct, the rules of conduct governing the use of the seas. At saka yung important lang, China must realize that even if we're friends, everybody is insisting on what rights do they have in the passage of the China Sea, including us. So we do not want to put more strain because everybody is contesting it. Now, I have been criticized. Bakit ko raw pinabalik yung Nipahat? Yung mga Nipahat, doon yun sa yung sand movement sa sand, yung excavation doon. And these were the sands that were carried away by the currents to the island. Parang naging accretion. But that is not recognized dito sa... no. We do not claim that right. Kaya ko pinaalis. Sinabi ko, ang predicate ko that it is not only Philippines against China in the claim of the territorial or is the economic zone. As a matter of fact, it is being contested by 5 others, 6 lang tayo. Now, if you allow that, Taiwan is already complaining and is about to do the same. It was not because of China alone, but you'd be facing a multiple action against the contestants which are claiming overlapping jurisdictions dito sa China Sea. I made it clear that hindi lang ang China. Kung if you allow, and China would allow it, because anyway, it's just Taiwan is making noise, and they are poised to build also their own. And Malaysia, which is also claiming part of the islands, which are also, I said, a part of our claim jurisdictions economic zone. Hindi lang nila nakuha yung ibig kong sabihin. But I said there are about 6 contestants there, not only China. Pag inumpisahan mo yan at inumpisahan nila, magulo yan. Then, China might just be selective. O sige, bahala ka. Total, malapit yan sa inyo. Then you'll have another controversy here, which we do not like. That is why, isa na lang tayo. China, who is there, who controls the passage, must come up with a code of conduct. Kasi yung build-up, he does not allow it. Siya lang. But, while we were looking intensely on the what was evolving in the Korean Peninsula, the next photographs that yung photo sa intelligence came up, na mayroon na siyang lahat, almost the islands were militarized already. Mayroon ng mga batteries. Ibig sabihin yung arms that are poised to fly. Yun ang sinabi ko. Which is really true. Hindi naman ng China. So, sabi ko na, in the bilaterals, I would insist that we hurry up. Now, sabi niya, they will not build anything in the Scarborough Shoal. Sabi ko, salamat. At yung Pag-asa naman, we've been there sa 1970s pa. So, if it is not a claim, then but we are not moving out from there. I will not, I am telling you now, I will not authorize any movement to leave the island. That we have to talk about. I do not want to lose the friendship of China. China is a good friend. China was there when we needed most their help. They delivered the firearms that turned the tide faster. Maybe because yung mga baril na for the snipers were really good. Very superior in quality. That's why we were able to minimize the dangers of the movement of the soldiers on the ground. Because they were always worried about the sniping conducted high up in the buildings. This is a new war, actually. It is covered with, kung ito lang sana yung open plain, kagaya ng insurgency sa mga barangay, sa bukid, madali ito. But itong nangyari ngayon, ang cover nila is yung semento, pati bakal. And you have to use bombs to penetrate your advance to a longer stretch. Wala akong sinabi na nagtataka lang ako kasi yung pagkatapos ng China Rocos, the next publications that we saw, but there were already arms around the islands. So it is not wrong for me to tell China, look, you have, already placed the heavy artillery there. So it puts us in where we worried and worry because we are also using the passage. Now we are friends, but what is the rule here for everybody that's applicable to us? That is also applicable for ASEAN because I am the chair of the ASEAN and I have to carry the voice of ASEAN. Hindi ako pwedeng pare-pare ng I have to tell the truth that everybody is worried. So that is the ASEAN hanggang saan ba? Up to where are we supposed? And to what extent would be the use of the passage? Now, the best way is to have a written code of conduct. So just you read it and you'd know that you are not crossing boundaries because as of now, it is a contested claim. See?
Sir,
Yes.
are you excited about your bilateral meeting with President Trump in the Philippines?
Yes, of course, because I feel that we share so many ideas along the same line of problems of governance. I know that I'd have an interesting time with him.
Sir, tuloy po ba yung sa Saturday na bilat with China? Tuloy na yun, sir, no?
Yes, I have a bilateral. I think it would be on the last day. So that I'd have to postpone my departure about 2 hours because that's the last activity and China has for it. And because we are friends, I'm ready to listen to China.
Yes, sir.
But of course, sabi ko sa kanya, I will tell him straight, Mr. President, the whole of the ASEAN is worried about how we should behave in the seas that are now militarized. Takot baka magkamali dyan. Tapos sabihin niya, puputokan ka na lang yan. Those arms, and they are not there for any other purpose. They are not decorations. They are there because China would need them. For what purpose, I really do not know. But if it is for war against us, then forget it. I'm not interested to go to war with China. I'm interested in the friendship. But I said, again, I have to ask him questions reflecting the sentiments of the ASEAN countries.
So just one short. Do you want China to remove those arms in the demilitarized and militarized islands?
Ganito yan eh. If I tell China now, remove it, and he doesn't want to remove it. Or I said, do not remove it because it's good. You can keep guard there and keep order. And he will remove it. So, when things are already in existence, and it's just a matter of discretion, you need, someday there will be a change of the political landscape of East Asia and Asia itself. There will be a change in the geography of the places here. Sabi nga nila, wala daw akong alam geopolitics. Well, sabihin nila ako kung anong alam ko ng konti. Might is right and right is might. And the ever-changing geopolitics of this world would also rearrange geography in the process. Just like the Middle East. It used to be one Middle East known as the Kingdom of what? After they left Second World War and created the State of Israel, it changed the entire geographical situation. Africa is another thing. Dito, I cannot dwell on too much about Malaysia, and but it is to the best interest also of Australia to be very active. Kasi pag nagsara yan, the passage between the countries of Malaysia and, the imponderables of life, pag yan ang nagsara, ang Australia will have to travel almost half of the world to reach anywhere, including the Philippines. That is the consequence of geopolitics. It changes the landscape, including geography.
Last question, Tina Mendez, Philippine Star.
Siya pala, sir.
Ha?
Good evening.
Isa uli mo sa kanya kasi ako naman siya dyan.
Okay.
Hi, sir. Good evening po. Sir Maricel Halili po from TV5. Sir, may we have your reaction because I understand that the chairman and co-chairman of the House Committee on Human Rights of the U.S. Congress wrote a letter addressed to President Trump urging him to bring up the issue about their concerns on the extrajudicial killings in the Philippines. What do you think of this, sir?
That's one page. I suggest that you look at the other, what is at the back. And that includes the misery and agony of the Filipino people, including extrajudicial killing. Almost all, halos lahat innocent tao. Kung bright talaga yung Congress na yan, if they are really worth their, and they said that it is a social problem, then it would be a grievous error to just look at the statistics of how many criminals died. Turn the page back and see how many innocent people and how it destroyed the country and how we have a problem now of addiction. Millions of Filipinos. Talagang mahina.
Pero, sir, ano po yung expectations ninyo doon sa meeting with President Trump? How will you respond just in case na i-bring up niya tong issue na to?
Layoff, sir.
Okay.
That's my business. Me? I never criticize whatever happened to for whatever reason there, America. But I criticize the State Department and Obama.
And sir, tomorrow will be your first meeting with President Trump?
I don't know. Is he here already? I'm here.
Tomorrow, sir.
Oh, well, maybe a good handshake and... pero yung mga advisors niya, not your problem.
Tina.
That's ours. If you want to help, help. If it's social problem, then look at it in the aspect of a social problem. Then you begin to dig why, how it blossomed into something out of control. That is the way how to look at it. Sila na rin may sabi, it's a social problem, so extrajudicial killing, blah, 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 blah. So, do not just look at the figures of those who died. They are not even... Sino doon? There are thousands. You mean to say that all of them died extrajudicially? What day was it? Where? How? Tapos gang with the sweeping statement, oh, this is the figure given by itong yellow on the left. Ganoon lang, ipapakita sa iyo. Eh kung ipakita ko yung listahan doon sa cemetery sa Davao, ilan na nilibing doon, maniwala rin sila. It's a very dangerous cliffhanger ka dyan to say na 7,000. Wala nga sila dito. No record of the burial in the cemetery. No police record. No nothing. And you just conclude that it is extrajudicial killing. Whatever to happen to the rule of law of your country. Are you not supposed to find out? Are you not supposed to give the suspects due process? And you just say outright, extrajudicial killing. Is that how you behave? Yan ba ang tinuro nila sa atin? Our Constitution is copied from the Constitution. It provides everything. Due process, the right to be heard before you make the accusation in public. The right to ask me before you reprimand me like what Obama did. So, tingnan mo, what he got in return was a very sarcastic. Well, you know, just because you are president of you do not have the right to just conclude things and criticize people. For after all, we all have our sordid histories we have our own massacres to remember.
Sir,
And the passage of time does not make it right. When it was wrong then, it is still wrong now.
sir,
Tina Mendez.
sa meeting niyo po with President Trump, paano po kung ma-bring up po yung position ng US naman sa South China Sea na magkaroon ng freedom of navigation sa areas ng South China Sea?
Dito sa ASEAN, we all just wanted a code of conduct so that we would know. I said, because China by now should realize that they have really militarized the area. So ano yung pagkakamali? What are the things that we should avoid so that we can avoid also the missiles that would follow us? So what are the things that would irritate you? The code of conduct is very important. I'm not criticizing China. I'm just telling them that it is high time for us to have that code of conduct of the sea. So alam namin kung paano. Now, I don't have to start claiming the islands there. Sabi niya, pinaalis kayo dyan sa ano. Because of this moment, when they heard it, sabi ng Taiwan, you would also start building. Then you start a ROCOS, which you cannot control anymore.
Sir, paano po kung ang sabihin po ng President Trump kung kailangan nyo ng tulong bilang bilang ally namin sa defense, tutulungan namin kayo sa West Philippines?
Well, I told them what kind of help
Military.
because no, I will not ask any military help to wage war against China. China is a friend. A friend in need is a friend indeed. Hindi mo naman mapaalis dyan except to go to war. We are not, I said, Filipinos ready for that. In the fullness of God's time, maybe we will have an interesting arrangement there. But it would depend on the people of China, how far they would go. But we are asking for the minimum. Kaya nga, while we were looking at the evolving threat dito na sa nawala tayo, then suddenly, the islands, the clusters of islands are full of military batteries. Batteries actually the arms.
Okay. Pros, cons, UNTV.
Hi sir, good evening po sir.
Good evening.
Bukas po nakatakda din po yung bilateral meeting nyo po with Russian President Vladimir Putin. Aside po sa follow-up meeting nyo po, nun pong bumisita kayo sa Russia and chance din po na magbigay ng pasasalamat sa tulong ng Russia sa Marawi crisis, may iba pa pong particular topic of discussion sa inyo pong pagpupulong?
Wala. Actually, I was planning to go to Russia for just a few hours and to thank them for their help. The timely help. Kasi, baski nasabihin niya, it came during the days when there was the waning of violence. Still, the replacements, kasi yung mga gastado na yung mga baril natin, and the new guns are really a welcome sight so that we can replace the guns who are really overfired, if I may use the term. Sobra na ang dumaang bala sa bore. Every time when it's supersonic speed, it melts and if you do it in automatic, it eats into the metallurgy kaya na.
So you intend to go back to Russia?
No, hindi na. But I was planning. But kasi I was planning after that, just a few hours to say, President Putin, salamat po. Yun lang. They should know that we nurture gratitude, tayong mga Pilipino. So, same with China and America and Israel. Ito yung pinagkautangan ko ng loob. Ito yung kinausap ko. Ito yung nagpahiram sa ating ng mga equipments, the things that can see the enemy far beyond the clouds, parang ganon. Those were just borrowed items. It's back in their possession now. But they allowed us. But the most important thing also is that the United States had allowed us to use the modern equipments of warfare. Wala akong At as of this time, I would say that I am okay with everybody. With China, it was not a criticism. It was just a warning because marami na kasing baril. There are so plenty of guns there and they must have use. And the use is really very obvious. So if they are there, we should know what is the conduct that they would like to be. If it is an imposed one, then we will say can we just talk it over and make it a friendly settlement there? Anyway, we don't intend to harm. No war at this time. Wala Pag nakuha natin yan, ang Taiwan na naman ang problema natin. So, sa China, magsabi siya, sige, bahala na kayo dyan. So mag-away tayo ng China, then same with Vietnam. Then I have to negotiate with Malaysia, and then Indonesia. They're all our friends. What am I supposed to do? Start a quarrel that I cannot control? Ideas are great, especially people who also said who make pillows out of their books. Yung tinutulugan lang yung libro nila, yun ang ginagawa nila ng unan. Okay yan sila. Hanggang dyan lang yan. Paggising sa umaga, nandyan yung libro, nandyan yung utak nila. Pero sila ang papuntahin mo. You have to make practical decisions now. I cannot be reckless and say, sige, gira tayo. Can we afford it? No. Lives? No. I will not. Bakit ko sayangan yung buhay ng Pilipino? Hanap ko lang ng away para...
Henry Uri, DZRH.
Hi, sir. Good evening. It's about the globalization na binabanggit po ninyo kanina. How is your administration going to help yung ating mga kababayan para mas lalo silang makipagsabayan sa global competitiveness? Do you have any marching order to your cabinet secretary, especially DOLE, DOST, DTI?
Ganito yan eh. We are promoting small and small industries. Gumagastos tayo. Then sa value na yan, yung sa papunta kung saan yan na it's a raw material or perfected, those should be taken into account sa value chain. And they must have access sa markets nila. And of course, they can improve on the tariff. Huwag nila masyadong patayin because as of now, they enjoy the West more privileges than we in Southeast Asia. Mayroon nga sa kanila pumapasok na. Even on visa, libre sila pasok dito but it makes it hard really for us to go anywhere. You have to get visas except for Israel. Israel is really a true friend of the Filipino. Punta ka ng Israel, wala kang visa. You can go Southeast Asian. But then all others restricted ka. But as of now, I would also rather cause you to not to go far down to Africa. Baka masali ka sa bakbakan doon.
Sir, last question.
Last.
Yeah. Sir, any possibility that you visit the United States after President Donald Trump have a meeting with you?
Alam mo, you might also include Australia. They were in both instances, I said, I will not visit those countries while being the president of this country.
Philip Tubesa.
Ayaw na, dalawang senador, they will protest, they will lead when I go there, sabihin ko sa kanila, you are too presumptuous. What made you think that I am even planning or thinking about visiting your country? And I'd like to know their names also because I can include them in the immigration badly. Totoo. If you think you protest my coming to your country, why? Would you think also that like to sitting down? You are also prohibited from entering mine. Or I will protest. If that is the farthest that I can go, then I'll meet you in the airport. Somebody should tell me they're coming. And I will just say, you son of a bitch, you can come here because we have existing agreements. But I really do not like you also. If you do not like me, I do not like you. We're even. Ha?
Thank you, sir.
Ganun lang yan. Bakit ako palugi?
Last question because it's been a long day. Ay, naku, meron pang humahabol. Anyway, tanong natin si Mayor.
Sige, okay lang.
Okay lang, okay.
Maayong gabi, Mayor. Philip Tubesa po sa
When I am among beautiful ladies, Harry, I am really inspired to talk until morning time.
Okay.
Andiyan si Peng. Bakit ka narating dito? Who authorized you to be here?
Maayong gabi, Mayor. Kahapon po nag-issue ng statement si VP Robredo, quoting Defense Chief Lorenzana and AFP Chief Guerrero, saying that the military daw po would not support a revolutionary government in the country. Could we get your comments, sir?
Tama siya. Tinanong ko ang military, sabi nila, hindi kami susuporta ng revolutionary government. Sabi ko, why? Sabi nila, dahil sabi ni Vice President Robredo, o bakit? Sabi niya, mas gusto namin siya, babae, at saka hindi nagmumura, gano'n. Ako, sige. hindi tayo mag-revolutionary government. Tama tama siya.
It's off the table. It's off the table na po, sir.
Correct siya. Ha?
It's off the table na po.
Sino ba naman ba nang magrevolutionary ka? Di magrevolutionary ka na diretso. Bakit ka pong drama-drama?
Thank you, sir.
Alvin Chico.
Pero tama siya. Ayaw ng gusto ng military siya ang dapat sundin si Robredo.
Hi, Mr. President. Si Alvin El Chico po.
Yeah, of course.
Sir, aside from the meeting with US President Trump sa ASEAN, what will be the highlight of the ASEAN Summit? Anong ipupush po ninyo bilateral meetings with other countries?
As bilaterals, sa Russia, I would like to have a small window to export our products. But this has to be done by siguro in DTI natin and some other guys, yung mga bright guys natin. Dominguez would also be a key player there. Yung just a small window muna where we can start maybe our exports there and find out what are really exportable and saleable. Para sa akin, pure negosyo man to kasi wala naman tayong, except that Russia, if ganang gustuhan nila, they can always support us. They have to replenish the arms that were used in Marawi, and I need to have the new rifles and some armaments that if they are willing to share it with us, I can pay, but it could be something low, not really a grant, but it could be something like a soft loan with enough years to earn the money to pay them. Yun lang. Sa Amerika, well, I would like to say that if the issue of really human rights, and I said I will just talk about it later, we should have a summit only on human rights. But we should call all. Not zero in on me. Bakit ako lang? There are so many violations of human rights, including sa United States. Including the continuous bombing in the Middle East, killing civilians. Pati mga bata, eskwelahan nila. And yung namatay along the way, and those who are responsible for it, in the countries that did the bombings there, America, then you have recently France and Russia. So mine is just a small list. So let's have a summit of how we can protect the human rights for all human race. Eh, nandito na lang rin tayo. Bakit pag-usapan natin yung Pilipinas? What makes the death of people in the Philippines more important than the rest of the children in the world who were massacred and killed? Diba? So we should call a summit, and I will volunteer to make the Philippines the venue. But I would call first Calamard. I have not heard you comment on the so many killings, the victims of bombs and of violence there in the Middle East. What have you been doing all the time? Why are you so fascinated with drugs? And you also should take note that there are plenty of Americans who died because of drugs. You need not really zero in on the police, but how about the doctors who prescribe them? The opioid epidemic. They are responsible for those guys who are really reckless. They should also be investigated by the human rights. You must be crazy. They are the ones who did it. You cannot get it without a prescription. Who's the culprit? See? We live in a very incongruous world. At least for once, Calamard and the rest should be decent enough to accept it. Let us investigate all violations of human rights committed by all governments. I said, just because it happened 40 years ago, it happened 100 years ago. When it was wrong then, it is definitely still wrong now.
JP Bencito, Manila Standard.
Hi, sir. Good evening. Sir, following the defeat of ISIS-inspired groups in Marawi City, sir, have the government or security forces monitored any possible threats? Because Manila will be hosting ASEAN Summit next week. Can you give us insights of the government with?
Well, this is only, I cannot tell you about the preparations where and what, but I can tell you that the Armed Forces of the Philippines and the Philippine National Police are ready to meet the challenge.
Okay.
Sir, just a follow-up question.
Kapiin ka man.
Clarify lang po natin, meron daw pong proposed summit on... sir, ibigay ko na.
Sige. Sino?
Sir, yung summit on human rights, is it for a real or when do you like to host that summit?
I will consult first the head of states.
Here, sir?
In the heads of states.
APEC or ASEAN?
All. World Summit on Human Rights. Kita mo, lalabas lahat yan dyan. And all the victims of human rights violation are invited to come and air their gripe or grievances.
Sir, will you invite the UN to monitor the summit or at least
UN is I'm more comfortable with a panel of lawyers kasi maintindihan nila kaagad the legal implications and maybe experts in the science of medicine and the destruction of the human body. Yan ang bomba. And hindi fair si yung maniwala kay Calamard. When she brought in that black doctor and said na use of drugs is not harmful, doon ako nawalaan ng respeto. Sana yung of all the drugs characterized by this document of the United Nations, the precursors, United Nations, the report is 2014. Kopyahin mo yan, bigyan ko kayo pag cannabis is a depression, everything, ecstasy, overdose would kill you, cocaine, same mixed with alcohol. Pero walang dito, ayaw kasi maniwala ng gaga eh. Heroin is users risk overdosing on heroin, which can lead to coma and death through respiratory depression. LSD, the physical effects are small compared to the psychological and emotional effects. It's still in the brain. Methamphetamine. Ito, tignan mo ang other side effects. Methamphetamine use sometimes triggers aggressive, violent, and bizarre behavior among others. Kaya sabi ko sa inyo, lumalaban talaga to. Ayun ang maniwala ng mga gago eh. And here comes Calamard with that American doctor, he's black, and he had the goal to announce before the Republic of the Philippines, he must have assumed that we are stupid. So, no, drug abuse will not harm. This is, bigyan mo na lang sila bong. You get your copy. Total, matagal pa naman kayo dito. We still have a long way to go. But I'll give you a photostock mo. Tapos, sabihin mo kay Calamard, ibalik niya yung doktor dito. Yung kulot. Kasi gupitan ko yun sa airport.
Okay.
Totoo. No, we don't allow such kind of hairdo for men. You have to have a haircut like a man. Gago. Talagang gago. Ang Calamard, so bakit ako magpa-imbestiga kay Calamard? Anak ka ng, I must be crazy. Why will I submit to her for an investigation? Nagdala na nga ang gaga dito ng doktor, nagsabi na walang effect daw ang stupid. Kita mo naman kagaguhan ng mga ulol. Ako pa ngayon ang kontrabida. Bigyan ko lahat. Binigay na sa inyo? Sana ma-addict kayo para...
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen of the press.